What if I told you that raising taxes could actually shrink the government's income? Sounds backwards, right? But under certain conditions, higher taxes might collect less revenue. Yep, you heard that right. This is the Laffer Curve, and it's more relevant now than ever. If that got you thinking, hit like and subscribe, because this one challenges everything you think you know about taxes. Let's break it down. The Laffer Curve is a simple but surprising idea in economics. It shows the relationship between tax rates and the amount of revenue a government collects. At 0%, there are no taxes, so no money for the government. Raise it a little, and money starts to come in. But here's where it gets weird. If you raise taxes too much, revenue can actually drop. Imagine running a lemonade stand. If the government takes 90% of every dollar you earn, how motivated are you to keep working? Probably not very. People might work less, hide income, or stop investing altogether. And that's the key to the Laffer Curve. At some point, taxes become too high to work effectively. The concept comes from economist Arthur Laffer. He famously sketched the idea on a napkin during a meeting in 1974. His point was bold. Both a 0% and 100% tax rate bring in $0. There's a sweet spot somewhere in the middle that brings in the most. But that sweet spot isn't fixed. It changes with the economy, how people behave, and what industries are being taxed. Let's look at some history. In the 1980s, President Reagan cut the top tax rate from 70% to 50%. Supporters say this unleashed economic growth while keeping tax revenues steady, just like the Laffer Curve would suggest. But critics argued it also widened the deficit, proving it's not so simple. Jump back to the 1960s. President Kennedy also pushed for lower taxes, leading to the Revenue Act of 1964. His administration claimed it helped fuel a boom in jobs and spending. Again, some applauded, others blamed the strong post-war economy as the real engine behind the growth. Fast forward to today. The U.S. brought in $4.4 trillion in tax revenue in 2023. But deficits are still climbing. Why? Because raising taxes alone doesn't guarantee results. At high rates, people might find loopholes, invest overseas, or simply work less. It's not just about the rate. It's about behavior. And that's what makes this curve so powerful. It's not just about math. It's about psychology, incentives, and trust. People will work and invest more when they feel the rewards are worth the effort. But when tax rates feel punishing, activity slows. That means fewer startups, less innovation, and yes, even less money for public services. Here's the kicker. The Laffer Curve doesn't tell governments to slash taxes across the board. It tells them to be smart. There is a point where taxes are too high to be effective. Finding that point takes data, not guesswork. Raise taxes too much, and you risk shrinking the economy. Cut them too far, and you lose the funds needed for roads, schools, and health care. The key isn't just collecting more, it's growing more. A healthy economy generates healthy revenue. So next time you hear a politician say, "We'll just raise taxes to fix the deficit," remember the curve. It's not always that easy. And if we ignore how people respond to tax policy, we might collect less, not more. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you or someone you know changed their work or spending habits because of taxes? Maybe held back on investing? Let's talk in the comments. And if this video helped you understand a tricky economic concept in a whole new way, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks raising taxes always leads to more money. This is 5-Minute EasyNomics, where we make the economy make sense,